Whether you're new to the game, or even someone who's shade level 30,000, you may have been sucked into the shiny trinkets that are named items. These items have perfect talents which at first may seem like they would be the best thing to incorporate on a build, but are they really that great? Let's take a look at some examples. One of the most common named items I see is the named Badger Tough Zero F's chest piece. Now I have touched on this briefly in a previous video, but let's take a deeper dive. The Badger Tough brand set is centered around shotguns. However, the perfectly unbreakable talent seems to be attracting people to replace their Fenris piece, which is centered around assault rifles, on their AR builds. This makes no sense at all, as you get diminishing returns from doing so. Now, in PvE, you get 100% of your armor back as opposed to 95% on the normal unbreakable. In PvP, this goes down to 55% as opposed to 50%. Now 5% of 1.8 million is only 90,000 armor. That's less than one bullet. If you're running a shotgun build, then 100% I recommend the Zero F's chest piece, as the brand set is revolved around shotguns. But if we're running an assault rifle build, there's no point to this. We're losing 10% assault rifle damage and getting back only 90,000 worth of armor. That's less than one bullet, remember. Now of course, we could swap out another piece, like our contractor's gloves, our Fox's prayer knee pads, or even more obviously, the second piece of Walker and Harris. But any way we cut it, we're losing multiplicative damage, and we've already covered why that's so important. The next piece I want to cover is the Providence Defense named chest piece, the Sacrifice, which comes with perfect glass cannon. You deal 30% more damage and take 60% more damage, as opposed to the regular glass cannon, which gives you 25% more damage while taking 50% more damage. Now on a skill build, perfect glass cannon means you gain 5% additional damage, but you lose all of the potential brand set bonuses geared towards skill building that you might find on another piece. On a DPS build, perfect glass cannon can be nice, but if you look at the brand set, one piece gives you 15% headshot damage. In PvE, this isn't so bad, but in PvP, people strafe. That means you need to hit the smallest target while it's moving and shooting back at you with that additional received damage in order to get any benefit from the first brand set bonus. Again, using a Walker and Harris or a weapon specific brand like Fenris will give you far more consistency in your shots. This really is a personal choice thing, and it depends on your player ability as well. Now the last chest piece I want to look at is the Uzina Getica named Closer chest piece. It comes with Perfect Spotter, which gives you 20% additional damage to pulsed enemies, as opposed to regular Spotter, which only gives you 15%. By choosing to go with the Closer chest piece as opposed to a Fenris chest piece for instance, I'm gaining 5% damage and 5% armor, but I'm losing 10% damage from the Fenris brand set. This again really comes up to personal choice. Do you want something that's more tanky, or do you want something that does more damage? Moving on to backpacks. This is the biggest mistake I see almost everyone make on bleed builds. The Golden Gear named Anarchist Cookbook Backpack. It comes with 10% status effects and the talent Perfectly Wicked. The difference between Wicked and Perfectly Wicked is that your damage bonus lasts for an additional 7 seconds. Now despite what you may think, status effects on a bleed build are useless. They provide less than a quarter of the damage you can gain by using crits in place of status. And keeping in mind that if we read the talent on the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece, it says that shooting enemies applies bleed. This has no cooldown, and therefore the timer on the Wicked talent has no relevance to the build. So using a piece like Sokolov, Grupo, Cheska, or Walker and Harris is going to be far more beneficial to your damage output. The next backpack I want to look at is the Providence Defense named the Gift Backpack. It comes with Perfect Vigilance, and much like the Sacrifice chest piece, it has the 15% headshot damage as its first brand set bonus. Now, the difference between Vigilance and Perfect Vigilance is that when you are hit by a bullet, Perfect Vigilance will come back after 3 seconds as opposed to 4. The problem with this is, since you're running a brand set with headshot damage, you need to get in closer to actually get those headshots. My guess is that the developers have strategically done this, knowing that when you go in closer, you're going to get hit a lot more. But if you're running Vigilance, you really want to play at a distance so that you can always maintain the benefit. Otherwise, just switch to Companion. The last backpack I want to look at is the Walker and Harris named Matador Backpack. I don't really have any issues with this backpack, as the brand set bonuses are really decent. The difference between Perfect Adrenaline Rush and Adrenaline Rush is only 3% in PvE and 2% in PvP. So it's not a huge difference, but you're going to be running a Walker and Harris piece anyway, because you want that additional damage and the brand set bonuses are too good to pass up. So I would recommend running this backpack over an alternative, unless you need something else for specific reasons. So I've jumped over to my mule character to get this gun, the named Dark Winter. It's a DZ exclusive and it's one of the more coveted guns in the game, and I don't understand why. With the talent Perfect Killer, killing an enemy specifically with a critical hit grants you 50% critical hit damage, which only lasts 10 seconds. That means that if you go into PvP, you have no additional damage until you actually kill someone, and you have to kill them with a critical hit. Once you've done that, again, you have a max 60% chance to hit that additional 50% critical hit damage, and it has to be done within 10 seconds. Pretty pointless if you ask me. I would go with something more consistent like Optimist, Strained, or even Flatline. They're much better. The next gun I want to look at is the named shotgun, the Mop. While it doesn't come with a specific talent, it does come with a permanent 10% armor on kill. It just so happens that I've rolled this one with Preservation. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Now those two things seem like they might be nice. I'm getting 20% armor back. However, that's not really a lot in PvP. In PvE, it may be usable, but in PvP, you have to actually get a kill with this gun before you can get any bonuses. And I'm telling you now, it's not a good gun to use. You will get out DPS'd and you will get killed. Exotic guns are no different, and there's some criticisms about these ones too. The Chatterbox, for example. When you reload, you get an increased 20% rate of fire for each enemy within 15 meters for the duration of the magazine. While this is a fun gun to use in PvE, in PvP it doesn't really stack up. You're not getting any damage bonus, and it's not great. The Chameleon. Hitting 30 headshots gets you some crit chance and some crit damage. Hitting 75 body shots gets you a really decent amount of weapon damage. But you have to hit 75 body shots before you get that weapon damage. That's at least 3 magazines. In that time, you're probably going to be dead. The Bighorn. This gun's been on a lot of people's minds recently, as it's now dropping in the Dark Zone. However, it doesn't really have a lot going for it. As far as an assault rifle goes, there are better out there, and when you scope in for the 450% weapon damage, a sniper rifle's going to do 10 times that amount, so you may as well go with those instead of the Bighorn. And as we discussed, the headshots, you need to be pretty good at doing headshots to actually use it. The Bullet King. This gun is absolutely rubbish. Sure, it's a fun gun because you never have to reload, but that's about it. As far as damage goes, almost any gun can out DPS it. Remember to always read your talents and weigh up the cost and benefit for each talent. Like and subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments.